looking at the elevation sheets now. So on 301, the first note here on the right says to make this look like the R&H standard levels. So I pulled in this Hughes residence. This is the sample file of that we kind of built the template from. So we can see right away that the issue is probably primarily text size. I know that some of these also appeared to have weird elevation references, 0, 180 inches, just seems kind of off. So to get to the bottom of this is all based on the story levels. So if we look at our story settings, this column right here on the story settings is what defines whether or not those datums show up or not. So the first issue is that in order to have a datum here, it has to exist as a story. And obviously we're not going to have separate stories for top of landing, existing grade, garage level, first floor level, height limit, etc. Like we just don't have stories for those things. It wouldn't make sense to. I do want to show you where those marker settings are, but I also have a better recommendation. So if we come into our elevation settings in the project map, I'm going to select all of those, or maybe I can't do them all at once. You might need to actually select the markers to get to the settings. Oh, I see what it is. There's independent section. So it's only going to allow us to adjust the automatic markers. So the independent ones probably just need to get deleted. Let's go to the settings here. It's under our marker levels down here at the bottom. There's several settings. So first of all, story levels. Are they going to show display and output, display only or none? We have the line type. We have show on right, show on left. The offset for how far they extend beyond the building. So there's all of these settings. The marker head on these appears to be a little bit smaller, so let's make that like a 16 point. I'm just gonna kind of guess in there, but again, like I said, I'm probably going to recommend turning these off anyway. Now also under the story markers, there are these different marker types, and I did actually take a look at all three of the ones loaded in the library to see if there's any of them that would give us an option to flip the marker head to the outside, shift this to the inside, maybe give us custom text options, etc. It just doesn't give us those options. So we can change the marker size, we can change the story level text. We could make the story level text, for example, like 9 point. I believe there's also the story text index is automatic, story name is automatic, and then elevation text is automatic. I believe that's about as far as we can take that. As far as why these are showing up as inches, I believe, if I remember right, this is project preferences, and it's either working units or dimension styles. Here we are, feet and fractional inches. So let's take a look at our dimension styles. So we go back into project preferences and dimensions. If we look at the elevations, it does say feet and fractional inches. So technically I believe that that's what we should be seeing there. I don't know why that's showing as inches. Usually I see it as feet and inches. But you can see like here, I'm kind of getting it a little bit closer, but it's just not going to ever be exactly what you're used to seeing here. That and the limitation of only being able to have datums where you have elevations is also sort of a crippling issue. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. One thing that I have set up in here, and you'll see this in the file that I'm uploading for you, is that I've created a worksheet, and this worksheet includes these objects that I've added. These objects have settings. It looks like they're also showing as inches, so we'll have to figure out what that is, what's going on with that. But these objects allow you to reference project 0. You can reference first floor, or first reference, second reference. There's different level line settings in here. You can even get into what the marker type is. You can say that the first line is custom. That allows you to basically create additional levels where you wouldn't otherwise have them. So let's figure out why our elevations are showing Oh, our elevation type should be feet and inches, I believe. There we go. So that's better. So let's go ahead and redefine that as feet and inches. And the elevations might have also been using the incorrect marker type, or sorry, rather dimension type. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this over here. First thing we'll do is we will say that this is not going to be part of the ID sequence, so it's not going to screw up numbering of future drawings on this sheet. And we're going to turn the title off, and it's set to transparent, so that's fine. And now if we line this up to our first floor here, you can see we've got first floor just like that. Now if we open this up again, one thing that you'll notice is if I did have, let's say, bottom of header here or something, these update automatically to whatever elevation they're at relative to project 0. So my project 0 sits right here, and I have first floor at that 0 datum right here. So anyway, that is kind of a recommended method there of just overlaying this additional worksheet. I realize it's an extra thing to manage, but generally speaking, the stories are kind of set. So this will give you the flexibility that I think you need to graphically show those the way you want. And then to turn these markers off in the elevations, we're just going to grab from the project map again these guys, and we'll go to our story levels, and we'll say none. Now I haven't turned the marker off, so if you did turn these back, it's not going to reset to any new setting. It's going to maintain those settings. So if you want to go back to the elevation marker and turn those back on and use the markers live from the story settings, you can. Otherwise, let's go ahead and update these maybe. There we go. And then you'll have these markers that I think you're going to be able to get more closely in line with your graphics. Okay, so I think maybe, where'd the markups go? There we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and nuke this one off of here. We'll say that that one is caught up. Let's go to what might be another easy one here. Let's take a look at this line right here, weird line showing. All right, so if we come into this source view and we zoom way in on this, so we've got a wall there, we've got a wall there. Let's just see what we have. Oh, there's a fill here. That might be hiding more of what's going on. All right, so we've got a wall there, a wall there, a wall there, there, and there. Looks like several walls and a slab. Okay, so we're somewhere in this area right here. Let's take a look at this in 3D. So this looks to be the issue right here. I mean, there could be several reasons. Like if these walls weren't abutting perfectly, we'd have to get into section to actually figure that out. They could be off by a 64th of an inch. So if things are not orthogonal, they won't heal. The bigger issue here is that, oh, I see, there's an opening there. I don't know what that opening is doing for us. I think it might have been just trying to clean up that. But again, this wall is probably taller than it needs to be because it's trimming to that slab. So if we pull that down to there, that'll clean that up. Now, I don't know if we want this line here to go away because technically these two surfaces are different from this surface. So if that's the case, if we want this to jog up, we'd have to redo how the model's made. But to eliminate those lines, what we would really have to do is look at changing the surfaces, because if the surfaces are different, we're going to get delineating edges on the elevation. So this is stucco southwestern. I'm going to grab these walls and change that to stucco southwestern, and then that line will go away. So now if we look at the exterior elevation again, those lines are gone. But that is the key there, is that you have to have the surfaces the same in order to get rid of lines on the elevation. So just fair warning there, I did change that surface to stucco. If it wasn't supposed to be stucco, it might need to change back on those walls. Okay, let's jump to the next one here. So there is a demo line showing here. So if we come into our proposed elevation, there is a demo window here. And what I've found on elevations is that demo windows and existing walls are generally because we are set to show and override new versus existing. That's one of the reasons I always have a new elevations versus new plans. In plans, you want to differentiate between what's existing and what's new. On elevations, that differentiation is going to make those windows pop through. So what we can do here is just switch the renovation filter to the new elevations, and that should eliminate those lines. Now let's go ahead and go back into our proposed elevations. So all of the elevations proposed will now be using renovation filter as new elevations. Again, this is all reversible just in the view settings. If that messes anything else up for you, you can always clean that up. Okay, line's not showing. I'm assuming that that's referring to this little line segment between that roof and that wall. Let's go ahead and get rid of this guy right here. So let's go ahead and open this up. The easiest thing to do here is to set the wall as an operator, the roof or roofs as targets, and do a basic subtraction with no extrusion. And you're just basically saying, I want those two things to delineate between each other. If I missed some other lines that were supposed to be showing up there, I apologize. We can always do a screen share and go over that together later. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to assume that that was that piece. Demo existing elements. Let's go ahead and check out what's going on in this elevation with those demo elements. So that's a demo wall. That's an existing wall. So I believe what we're seeing there is just the bottom of the existing wall is abutting this demo wall. I did figure out that there were multiple windows here. So in the floor plan, I did figure out that window line. There was basically a window in this wall and a window in this wall. And that's why those lines were showing through. I've since fixed that. As far as getting that demo to show as dashed, I mean, short of pulling this down a hair, I don't know what else we do there. And that, even that, I don't know, clearly tells the story. I'm not sure how we would exactly show that piece as a dashed line, honestly. It might be a note or something about removing that section of wall. Because this is an existing element, there's no way to show just a partial edge of that as demo. And unfortunately, ArchiCAD doesn't really do a great job of this. We can try bringing this to the front, but I don't know. I mean, that's your true line weight there. So that might read through a little bit better, but I don't think it's going to get any better than that. All right, let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and leave that where we're at, maybe on that page, and we'll move on to the next one.